Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Antonio with another episode of Thus Said the Lord unto me. So, such as I have, give I unto thee. How y'all doing? It's a beautiful rainy day today. I'm here. I'm here. To God be all glory for all the wonderful things He's done and the mighty battles He has won. To God be the victory. God is good. God is good. And His mercy endureth forever. What's on my mind? A lot of things on my mind. These light afflictions cannot be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in us. I think it's that. And I also hear too much is given, much is required. So, yeah, I guess that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to title this Pretty People Problems. PPP. Pretty People Problems. I see myself as handsome. Not in the vein. It's not vanity. This is not arrogance. I can hear y'all through the screen. I already know. Where am I going with this? We're going to talk about pretty people problems. Pretty people problems is that you get attention. Sometimes when you don't want it. Because there are opportunities. And you have to learn early that because you can do a thing, don't mean you should. There is more of a responsibility when you have more opportunities. There are more challenges when you have more opportunities. I remember a conversation I was having with a friend of mine, and so why are you single? Same reason why you single. I'm waiting on the Lord. But if it wasn't for that, why are you single? Because I'm picky. And it is for that. So I'm waiting on the Lord. Yeah, just that. I'm waiting on the Lord. See, when you make the mistake of choosing in your own strength, sometimes, because you can't judge who that person is going to become in their future. You choose wrong, you didn't get a gift. You got something else. Because only God can judge the hearts of men. Only God knows when a thing is ready and when it's ripe, when it's for sure, when it's certain. When it's just not trying to figure itself out and you're just along for the ride. And then when it figures it out, then it's like, oh no, abort. It's like, no, you can't abort. Ain't no abort. Ain't no abort. You can't, you here now. And don't try to piece it together, because like I said, I won't speak against certain people in my life, so please don't try to piece it together. It reminds me of a sermon that my bishop preached a while back, which he was the originator of this the topic itself, because he was talking about how you got this old church mother who talking about, ooh, look at her, she just this, that, or the other, and, and this, that, and the, I've been saved all my life, and I am just this, that, and the other, and I, and well, mother, you ain't had all the opportunity she had. You ain't got all the dudes in your inbox like she has. She has to fight off more temptation. I don't mean to call you ugly, but the reality is that that's what it is. It's that there is opportunities. Now, this conversation comes off as really arrogant. I don't really like having it because I don't see myself like that. There's a lot of things that I have, a lot of flaws that I have, a whole lot. And I'm not about to point them all out because I don't want y'all to be thinking anything. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am exactly who God said that I am. I'm made in His image and His likeness, and I call it a day. But I got a lot of flaws, y'all. I got a lot of things that I don't show because who does that? How many of y'all take off y'all makeup just so y'all can show all the blemishes? I mean, I'm just saying. Now, some of y'all just can do that. Some of y'all can do that. Some of y'all may do that, may not do that. I don't know. And I'm not touching that at all. So please don't take my words and think I'm talking directly to any particular person. I'm not. I'm not. This is not that. What I'm trying to express is that because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing. How about I say it like this? I'm speaking to my beautiful children who I love dearly, and to my son who thinks he's just so pretty. Sons, both of y'all. Well, I don't know about the youngest one, but that he might see himself that way. But all y'all is, yeah. And I know baby girl, oh man, you know what? I'm thinking something only a father could agree with, and all the women that's listening to this will probably roast me real bad for saying this. But there are certain things that the father just didn't want to have the expectation of. I just didn't want, and it's okay if my baby girl wouldn't have been ugly. I would okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I would have been okay with that. She grown. My baby was curvy young, and I didn't appreciate that at all. Like, Lord, please, please. I got these little boys. I'm like, what you looking at, son? No. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we're good. Okay. So, it's that whole shotgun father thing. This generation, y'all don't know nothing about all that. This sounds really, arcane and caveman for you. But for those that grew up in my generation, is, I don't know. That's gonna sound carnal, so I can't even say that. Who's coming from the west side? We was just listening to different stuff. Who's the Ice Cube generation? Just put it. I'll leave it at that. Who's the Ice Cube generation? However you see that, But like I said, it's just in speaking this in reference to my children. Y'all got the pretty face, and the very handsome qualities. But that charisma is a blessing. And charisma, like any other gift, it is a gift given, but there is a requirement. There is responsibility. And that's that goes for everyone across the board who knows that you are given this gift of this charisma. Now, let's make this biblical. Let's really get into the real deal, because the Lord had put something in my spirit a long time ago. Well, I didn't say a long time ago. It was a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about Hophnius and Phinehas. I'm gonna touch it, but it ain't gonna be where you've ever heard it. Some of y'all heard this preached before by your pastors, and because the story is clear cut. Hophnius and Phinehas was taking advantage of the women who come to offer up the offerings and sacrifices and stuff of that nature. Okay, they were coming into the temple, and they were committing lewd acts. See how I did that? Y'all like that? I did that. I think I did that very well. Very, very well. Not carnal. I did that very well. So because of that, God judged it. That's the basis of the story. But there's more to the story. There's the things that are not being said, that's behind the scenes, that require you to go in there and dig, require you to go in there and study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. See it? You see the rightly dividing? Hold on. I lift it up, I bless it, you break it. Okay. Rightly dividing the word of truth. These boys had charisma. Like I said before, in the names, there are stories, all in the names of the individuals in those times. That's why I feel like those that are over there have an advantage over us that are on this western side, who read the scriptures as stories rather than reading them as from a different perspective. From the perspective, when they see these scriptures, they read them as wordplay, and they read them as analogies. Okay, but we don't read them that way, and we're not supposed to. Okay, because Jesus came in the flesh. So let's not get it twisted. Okay. That's the difference between us and them. Okay. We believe our God is Yeshua HaMashiach. They ain't convinced. They just see the Father. And for you that's listening, I am the way, the truth, and the life. None can come to the Father except by me. He is the chief cornerstone. Stumbling block. It's a stumbling block. The rock of offense. It's a stumbling block. The stone the builders rejected became the chief cornerstone. Anyway, let's get back out of that, because that wasn't for y'all. That was for our older brothers and sisters. Just kind of left us out here. Don't try to read into it. It ain't for you. But for you, we're going to talk about this Hophnius and Phinehas, which one of their names means soldier. Soldier. I think that was Destiny's Child that was singing about a soldier. Yeah, they were singing that same way back then. That's a devout. That's devout. He's devout, ready to go to war. Joshua character, just ready to go to war. It's a soldier. And the other one means beauty and wisdom. That sounds real angelic. So he was that dude, you know. But here's the thing. They were taking what, in my understanding, they were taking God's glory. These people, these women, were coming into this place drawn by, drum roll please, the Ark of the Covenant. You forgot the Ark was there. Yeah, you forgot the Ark was there. When I hear their story, it changes, because now I told y'all there are so many similarities to me in my understanding of Samson to the Ark of the Covenant, that if you pay attention close enough, you may not be able to tell them apart. Just play with that. Play with that in your head. When you read through, play with that in your head and see it. See it from that perspective. And when you see it from that perspective, it's like, whoa. Yeah. Now you can understand it is. This how do I touch that? How do I touch that without offending? It is the unbiased nature that we forget that God so loved the world. It's unbiased. So God so loved the world. That's the harlots included. That's the Moabites included. That's the foreigners included. And I say foreigners meaning heathen in that day. So that's them too. So for Samson to want what he wanted. But anyway, we ain't talking about Samson. We over here talking about the Hophnius and Phinehas whose names represented what is valiant. That is the word, valiant. But as my bishop said it best, it was like foxes in a hen house. Could it be that it was because of the drawing of the ark, the drawing of the people, because of the presence of God, that they took God's glory? When you understand all that pretty is really God's glory. All that strength is really God's glory. All that soldier is really God's glory. And the moment you start thinking it is you, the moment you start feeling yourself, it's the moment that pride comes in and you get cast down. Now we can understand Paul, who spoke of the thorn in his flesh. I heard a message earlier today reminding me of the thorn in his flesh. He sought the Lord thrice concerning this thing. He said his grace was sufficient unto you. He allowed that thorn to be there to keep him humble. It is good to find our thorn. it's good to reflect on our thorn so that we don't become high-minded, so that we don't get full of ourselves, that we don't understand that beauty is fleeting, that we don't understand that he calls the young because they're strong, and he calls the old because they're wise. You transition, go from the young to being old. Your strength will wane in time. So who you are today must transition to who you will be tomorrow. And it's in remembering that you humble yourself before the Lord and giving him the all of you. So you don't find yourself in contempt. So you don't find yourself in a place that now you will be judged because you did not honor God with the very gifts he gave you. And for them, as priests in the temple, they had everything. They didn't lack anything. They had the best of the sacrifices. They brought in the sacrifices, and the priest portion was the fat of the sacrifice. They got the good. They got the good cut. Good cut of meat. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna say it was the fat, but the fatty part, which is, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know it all, y'all. I'm just running with what I know. I'm not, I'm not a scholar. Not a scholar. I'm just that dude. So because I'm just that dude, take this back to the Lord. Take this back to your word. Study to show yourself approved. That's it. And then the fact that Eli was, the father, even representation of the father, because it was the interesting part that Samuel kept calling out and kept hearing the father speak, and Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. No, I didn't call you." Then Eli realized that it was God the Father that was calling him, but Eli was sitting in the place of, and it just shows and then, yeah. And then the two sons, and then the all of it together is equal to a lot, if you look at it from the right perspective. So that's that. I'm gonna leave that alone because there's more I want to dig in there, and I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to get off topic. But yeah, because the breaking of the neck, and then the falling back, and the Ichabod, and all of that whole nine, and the glory leaving, but the type and shadow of the two sons that died, and then the representation of the angel that represented the ark, and the two persons of these two. Yeah, it's a lot. But you caught that. For who that was for, you caught that. You run with that. I like to see that. But like I said in my prior video, there's no competition. I'm just here as a vessel. That His will be done. There's certain things that, like I said, He's given me that I don't talk about because I don't know when it's time to talk about, because I'm scary like that. And it if when you grow up and you get on the big, you forgive my expression, you put on the big boy draws, then you understand that there's a responsibility for even the things just because He gave it to you don't mean it's just meant for everybody. Some of that is just meant for you. Some of that is just meant for you for that time. So you have to be mindful that you're still responsible for the words that's coming out of your mouth. And then for me, lately, another thorn that seemed to, man, it was almost like it's been like a, this between, this is me sharing a little intimate detail about myself, something that I was dealing with. It seemed like I've been feeling stupid lately. I know that sounds kind of harsh to. Nah, I just call myself dumb. Nah, I just be feeling kind of stupid lately. Like the words that I want to say in the fullness of it, it just not coming out right. It just, Lord, what are we doing? What is this? I'm giving partial portions and stuff, and I'm not saying the fullness of what I was trying to get out, and then now I'm trying to send apology letters basically because I just fumbled the ball with that, and I know you called me to do this at this moment. I know that this is you want me to do, but it's embarrassing me. And then I understand that there in His presence there's that no flesh should glory. Okay, so it is in that humility that I gotta bow low. And I pray, man. That's the last videos, man. I was praying. I prayed later on that night and woke up out my sleep praying about Lord. No, y'all forgive me. Like no, I look stupid. No, because that's. God said that if you don't worship Him, the rocks will cry out. There's so much stuff that goes along with His worship, and I just felt like it's like I felt like I was made to say something, like go up there and say your Easter speech. I'm like, no, I don't want to. And that's how I kind of felt like, because it felt to a certain extent. I'm like, but it's not all of it though. And then I ended up coming back in and trying to do that, and then I didn't want to upload it. I didn't want to upload it. But it was necessary because there was a piece of that was necessary for someone to see. And I heard you. For who that's for, I heard you. Loud and clear. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all I got. Until next time, peace and love, all that good stuff. Love your neighbor. Bless them to curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. Whom the Lord loveth, He chastens. I will say this, because this is what y'all want to know what fear is. Y'all want to know what real fear is. Real fear is to be given over to a reprobate mind. Let us reverence our Father, that we never experienced that horror or the idea of that horror. I'll give that to whomever don't know what that means. Forget everything else I said. Just study that. Okay? Till next time. I love y'all.